Hi everybody, welcome back to Detroit Shrimp and Aquatics. I wanted to make a quick video today because when I was at work today, for those of you who don't know, I was injured at work a week ago. I was struck in the head. Crane had a load of lumber, didn't see me. By a toolbox, swung it over, hit me in the back of the head. So, anyways, doing better. But today I hurt myself again, doing something I wasn't supposed to. Put a little too much stress. I have bulging discs in my neck right now. So, anyways, so I had to go back to the doctors to have them look at it. I noticed someone had made a comment on one of the things on Facebook about TDS. The reason why I wanted to do something on this is because a friend of mine who works at a pet store over here by my house, we just had a conversation about TDS, and he likes to pick my brain on, why do you test TDS, what does it mean to you, this type of stuff. So I thought, everybody out there has their definition of what TDS is, and they explain it in their way. So I was thinking maybe I could explain it in my way. It might be a little different, maybe it might not. But I just figure I'd give it a try because instead of just saying this is what it is, I'm going to actually read to you some reasons why you might want to run an RO unit instead of just running tap water, because everyone says like with this tank, if I just put tap water in here, which I do, if the water department was to put something in the water that was actually spiked that I didn't test for, or couldn't test for, that could kill all these fish. So if you use an RO unit, doesn't matter what they put in the water. As far as I know, the RODI takes everything out. So there's nothing in there whatsoever. So it doesn't matter what the city puts in the water. If you use RO water in your tanks, it'll always be perfectly clean water to an extent. So let me just read you real quick off the internet what TDS is, and kind of, not to scare anybody, but how important it is to know what you could be putting in your tanks. Compared to, us drinking it, big deal. But what, these little guys, and what it does is it talks about dissolved solids. And it says, most often dissolved solids come from water's contact with the environment during its journey from source to tap. So it's A to B. It says, or incidental sources. Organic compounds can originate from urban or agricultural runoff, industrial wastewater, sewage, chemicals used in water treatment, carbonate or salt deposits, seawater intrusion, stormwater, or even water pipes that thread underneath towns and neighborhoods. And then it talks about what happened in Flint, in Michigan here, with their old lead water pipes. But agricultural runoff, industrial wastewater, sewage, and chemicals, that could all be in my water. And those are dissolved solids. So you use a TDS meter that checks dissolved solids. It could be reading that you have some sort of sewage or wastewater in your water. No, it's kind of messed up. And it says that was incidental sources. Then intentional sources are dissolved solids can be intentionally added to water. Grocery store shelves are stacked with supplemented bottled water. Common additives include magnesium and calcium, especially in branded mineral water products. That talks about they add fluoride to bottled water, electrolytes, these type of things that they're intentionally added to pure water, like in stores. Then it talks about how TDS tests are not always reliable. Then where's it? Okay, so low T. This is what gets me. If your water has detectable levels of TDS, this is interpreting the results. The next step is to analyze the results. Keep in mind that the level of TDS can indicate vastly different things depending on the type of solids in your water. And who knows what's in our water? I don't know what solids are in my water. Hopefully nothing that's too bad. But it says low TDS levels. Now, where I live, I think the water's pretty low on the TDS. But here it goes. If a water sample contains less than 100 ppm, my water out of the tap is 102 ppm. So it is generally considered to have low TDS content. Okay. However, the classification of TDS levels depends on the context and the nature of the dissolved solids. The nature says if the water contains beneficial minerals, 150 to 250 ppm can be excellent TDS range for optimal health. However, if the contaminant is residual pesticides from agricultural runoff, 100 ppm would be an extremely high reading. Well, I don't know where residual pesticides would come from. Like I said, I don't know nothing about it. So where it comes from, where the water, I don't know. So then it says 100 ppm would be an extremely high reading. Well, I have 102. So is it extremely high? I mean, do I have pesticides in my water? Runoff? What? It says a number, high TDS levels. A number above 100 is typically considered as high TDS. But as with low TDS categories, a TDS reading could be considered high or low based on the content. According to EPA, maximum concentration of TDS for drinking water is 500 ppm. But it says, however, many water supplies have TDS levels that surpass this limit. Even if the high amount is due to presence of beneficial minerals, increased levels of TDS can give water a bitter, metallic, or salty taste, along with discoloring the water and creating unpleasant odor. High TDS reading also caused by sodium, chlorides, and potassium, which have little to no short-term effects on human health. Okay, good. What's that say? The water system has water with TDS readings over 1,000. It's considered unsafe for consumption. All right, then get this. It says, just because water has high TDS levels doesn't mean it is detrimental for human health. The count of TDS in drinking water is not nearly as important as the nature of the dissolved solids. Okay, the nail polish remover test says in an experiment, filter water was contaminated with a splash of toxic nail polish remover. When tested for TDS, the meter read 0, indicating pure water. Another alarming result was when 50 ppb of lead, 3 times the EPA limit, was added to the water. When tested for TDS, the meter read 4 ppm, which indicates safe water. Alternately, when drops of trace minerals were added to the sample, the reading spiked to 125 TDS. The most beneficial water sample registered as most harmful. The toxic samples contain nail polish remover, and lead registered as the safest and purest water. The nail polish remover test proves the weakness of TDS testing unless the TDS measurement is accompanied by a list of types of dissolved solids. TDS readings don't reveal much about your water. So more or less, most of us know this, that if you take TDS meter TDS meter. Test your water. It's going to give you a number. If it gives you a number, most people don't know what that number means. Except, okay, I have total dissolved solids in my water. You might test your GH, test your KH, you know, maybe a few others. But it even says in here to actually find out, you have to burn the water. Send the water in, get it tested, or they like burn it, and the residual that's left, they test that and it tells them exactly what's in your water. So, let me see, I think that was bottom line. Should I worry about total dissolved solids in my water? Ultimately, the TDS levels of your water don't matter as much as the types. That's the whole thing. It's the types of dissolved compounds it contains. See, it even says, as the nail polish remover test proves, sometimes pure water can hold dangerous and toxic chemicals, while water supplemented with minerals can register high TDS levels. So when testing your water quality, look beyond the TDS count. Look for these common total dissolved solid contaminants: aluminum, arsenic, barium, cadmium, chlorides, copper, fluoride, lead, nitrates, sodium, sulfates. The potential for pollutants also depends on your location. If you're in an urban setting, urban runoff could contaminate your water system with motor oil, gasoline, and trash. A rural or suburban water system could include pesticides and fertilizers. Look for high amounts of nitrates, phosphorus in your water as indications of fertilizer contamination. But as you see, you know, what I'm trying to say is, you know, you look through this over and over and over and over and actually see what TDS actually means. And it means way more than anybody will tell you at a pet store. You ask them, hey, what's TDS meter tell you? Total dissolved solids. Well, what's that? It's what's in your water. Well, what's in my water? I don't know what's in your water, but this thing will give you a number telling you what total dissolved solids are. I can't tell you what total dissolved solids are in your water. So is this thing actually useful? To an extent, to a degree. In my opinion, only if you use RO water, or if you have your water tested. If you have your water tested. Now let me move this. My trusty Samsung pad. All right, 2 TDS meters. They look different, color-wise. They are different. This TDS meter, my favorite. This tests only, nothing else whatsoever total dissolved solids. Nothing else. Nothing else. Which means the only thing this tests is what I put in it, into my RO water. This TDS meter does temperature, of the water, and does your TDS. And anything else that's in the water. If you spit in the water, if you sneeze in the water, if a fly lands in the water, this thing will give you a forever number. I don't know. This? No. This? Yeah. So, I won't say where I got these, but the person sent me 3 of them because I told them this one is the one I use all the time. I got one of these to test it out. It gave me way different numbers, way higher numbers, like 30 to 40 ppm higher than this. And it was explained to me that it was giving me every total dissolved solid in the tank. Well, I don't need to know that due to the fact that I use RO water. The only thing I put in the tank is my salts. So what do I need to know? I mean, I know leaves, you know, the leaves, you know, the humic acid and stuff gives off a little. Maybe my moss is a little, the soil a little. but I don't care. I mean, those things aren't like deteriorating and turning into liquid in, you know, a day. I mean, it breaks down, shrimp eats it, you know, you got bacteria, all that stuff. It's all beneficial. So I don't need to know what, I mean, it's just really weird. This thing just, I mean, it's really crazy. So anyways, I'll show you. Okay. Here is my tap water out of my house. I just got it out of there. So with my just my TDS meter, reads nothing else but the solids. It's pretty low today. 99. Look at that. 98. 96. 98. So I have 98, 99 ppm in my tap water. That's pretty low. I mean, seriously, that's low. Okay, now we'll go to the trusty TDS 3 and temperature. 121. Of what? I could say the same thing about the other one. It's 99 of what? Okay. But it doesn't read anything else. That's what I'm saying. This is telling me 121 of what? This tells me 99 of what? Which one do I actually believe? All right. Here is RO water out of my tub in there. My tester. Well, the tester I use all the time. 1 comes out of my RO. 1. It's pretty good. It's been running for a while. Okay, this one, usually exactly the same. 3. Okay, now, let's see if I can get something going here for you guys. Okay, here's my shrimp GH by Aquavitro. Very expensive. Okay, now the blue TDS meter that just reads salts said 1. This one over here said 3. So I'll put in just this little itty bitty scoop. Okay, so then take the blue one. So now that little scoop, that little round scoop I just put in there, 325, 327. See, it's a liquid, so might need a second. $327. That's a lot, just from that little. This little itty spoon, if you didn't see it. See how small it is? 327. Now this one that does the temperature, it's probably going to give me, let's say, 30 more. 327. 440. 440 of what? This gave me 327. This is just 110, 113 ppm more? Of what? I mean, why would it give me more? What's it reading? I don't know. Okay. Hopefully you guys can see this tank over here. This is my Extreme Blue Bolt tank. My blue tester. 117. 117. This one. 147. 147. So it went from 117 to 147. That's 30 ppm more. Of what? So it all comes down to this. This is just my opinion. I use this blue one because it reads just TDS. It doesn't have temperature on it. It doesn't read anything. This will give you the lowest of the low on your salts. This is what I do all of my tanks with because it gives me such a low number. This gives such a high number. This is 30 ppm more. So, let's say like my Extreme Blue Bolt tank, I want to keep it at 115. 115 on here would be, what, 85? Now, could that be dangerous to my shrimp? Probably. This says 115, which is 30 lower than this. Could it be dangerous to my shrimp? Not so much. So, I do all my tanks with this in fear that this would make my numbers too small, too low. And as you see, even my tap water, the difference in my tap water between these two TDS meters. So when I came to this conclusion and the argument that this one, I guess, doesn't read the way I'd like it to, they sent me two more, because I thought maybe this was broken. It wasn't broken. All three read the same. So and I was even told that these meters, not maybe this exact one, but types like this that have the temperature reading on it, they read everything in the water. Everything. Anything that could be, I don't know if I was saying this right. Anything that can be read as a total dissolved solid is read by this. See, and that's hard to say. I'm not actually saying it the way I'd like, because this reads, okay, this reads just salts. If I'm saying that right, minerals. That's what I want to say. Minerals. This reads minerals and anything above and beyond that this doesn't read. That's what I should say. This is all I care about, though. This one. I don't care about what this tells me because I use RO water. So, like I said, in my tanks, if my moss is breaking down, I don't care. I don't need this to tell me that. It's not going to tell me when, if my pH goes up, if my ammonia's up. It doesn't tell me none of that. It tells me this is 30 ppm higher. So the only difference, the only thing you actually could do, which I don't even know then, is try to find the difference in numbers between the two of these, and then you can actually use this and say, okay, this is going to be 40 ppm higher on anything that I test. But it was just only 30 on one of the tests I just did. So on one test it was 40, on the other test it was 30. Different than this one. So that's why I don't use these anymore. This gives me a number that I trust due to the fact that what I test, no matter what I test, it gives me the lowest end that I can find with just what I add to it. Nothing else. I don't know if you guys understand everything I just said. Sometimes it's hard for me to understand it also. But RO water, tap water, if I stick this in there right now, it's probably, 500. If I stick this in there, it'd be lower because it's not reading everything this city puts in. It reads minerals. It doesn't read anything else but minerals. It doesn't read all the other nasty stuff that I read to you. that this one does. This one reads some of that stuff, leads, you know, all that crappy stuff. This one to me doesn't. It just reads minerals. Could some minerals be bad? Yes. That's why I don't do tap water in my shrimp. Well, except my neocaridina. I just put tap water in there. I don't add anything to it whatsoever. So you see it's a 99 to 102. That's it. That's all I don't add anything to it. And, you know, you take that chance if you don't RO it. But, you know, you start doing RO with everything. I mean, I get 5 gallons an hour. And then all the wastewater that I still keep because I put my wastewater in here because now all the contaminants are gone. The pH is higher, which cichlids like. Everything's better. All the crap that the city puts in the water, it's now out. So all my wastewater, everybody flushes down their sink. I don't do that. I put it in all my cichlid tanks. I put it in my shrimp tank, my neocaridina tanks. Why? It's clean tap water now. Now there's nothing in it. And it's got a little extra pH to it because everything's cleaned out, which makes the pH rise a little bit, which the Neos like. So I don't even waste my wastewater that everyone I know throws away. I put the RO water in my caridina tanks, wastewater in my neocaridina tanks, but mainly it's for this because it's large water changes. So that holds 25 gallons. I'll get about 25, 30 gallons out of this, pump that right into here. So it's mainly for these guys. But if I, you know, have it, and this has already been changed, I'll put it in my tanks. Excuse me. So clearly I probably haven't answered everybody's question, which I've never seen anybody answer all the questions. I mean, sometimes when I watch it, I'm confused as exactly what it could mean. But when it all comes down to it, more or less, I brought this up for meters, testing your meters, and they can't always tell you exactly if the water you're putting in your tank could actually kill what's in your tank, due to the fact that they could put stuff in there that these won't even read. As you remember, I read the nail polish and what was the other one, lead or whatever, and it came back as pure water. So don't always count on these. But if you're using RO water, you can set your numbers, stick with those, and you should always be fine. So I hope that helped. I hope you guys got something from this and was able to understand some of my gibberish. But you know, I'm just trying to help. So I get comments that people are learning things as they watch, as they go. Well, I've been doing this for a while, and I take information that I get, and I'll try it. You know, I've tested tanks with my shrimp with no bubbler, no filter, no nothing, like LRB. It works. I don't know, I'll leave it sit here on the floor for, you know, 3 months. I'll do a water change on it, feed sparingly so it doesn't turn to ammonia, and they thrive. Have babies like you wouldn't believe. All my tanks, they just run on a filter. These tanks down here don't even have filter. All they got is air bubblers in them. And they're 25-gallon acrylic tanks with, you know, tons and tons of shrimp in it. The one over here has my blue sapphires in it, new Neos that I'm bringing out. It's got just a little bubble filter in it. I mean, but I don't have no power run of this. I have one air pump that pumps them all. You can't even hear it. And I have sponge filters in 90% of the tanks. And the ones that don't have sponge filters is because I haven't had time to get to the store and get them sponge filters yet. And it's also another test to see, does the tank actually need sponge filters if I'm topping off with any kind of, you know, the water that evaporation, if I top off, put that fresh water in all the time, do I actually need to have a sponge filter? If I don't overfeed and I'm putting in fresh water, let's say every 4 days, 3 to 5 days, I'm putting in, let's say, I don't know, a gallon. That's a lot of water in 10 gallons. You know, so it's, do I actually need, I mean, the sponge filter is great for them to eat off of, but if your tank has algae and bacteria and all those good things, like I have plants and they just eat all the stuff that grows on there all day long. You know, a tank with, I don't know, 200, you know, blue dreams in it, they just sit and eat on the plants all day long, eat all the, you know, bacteria that's on it, everything that's growing, you know, and Indian almond leaves that I throw in. So do I need to give them a sponge to eat off of? Doesn't hurt. But if I run a tank with no sponge and just air stone, will that be just fine? So I can actually save money when I have this many tanks in a basement, you know, that I'm trying to start a business to make money for my family. And don't get me wrong, I'm not going to sit here and say, I do this just for the hobby. I do it for the hobby because, I mean, I don't have all these tanks because, you know, I'm trying to make a fast dollar. I've always had fish tanks, but if I can make money doing it, I'm going to. If I can bring you the best homebred shrimp that at least I can do out of Michigan, I'm going to do it. Because the better I get and the happier my customers are, that just takes me to a whole nother level. And there's people out there that says, I don't do it for the money. I do it for the money. I want to do it for the money, to give my family everything I can with my daily 9 to 5 job or 7 to 4. So believe me, when I say I do it for the money, I work very hard at what I do. If I sell you garbage, you're not going to come back. If I sell you the best I can give you, because I feed them real expensive food, because I put shrimp GH in there, you know, the aqua vitro, I try new products out and, you know, have all these fish in such clean tanks and, you know, how it's supposed to be, then you just benefit by buying my product. And I benefit because I make money. And I make you happy, which makes you buy more. So, yeah, at no time I'm going to sit here and lie to you and say I don't do it for the money. I do it for the hobby, because the more I bring people into this and see what happiness that they can have, you know, the more everyone's happy because they're coming to find something that they never knew about. And I'm happy because I can bring you the happiness, and my family's happy because we make money doing it. So I'm not going to be one of the guys on here saying I don't do it for the money. I'm not going to lie to you. I just want everybody to be happy with what I do. So I'm going to cut this video off. I'm not going to show it yet because I want to kind of show you guys when it's out. But I got some special shrimp last couple weeks from Robbie Chan. I got some really nice oranges, some fire reds, and what I'm doing here is, you know, I don't import. None of my shrimp are imported. You know, I buy some of his shrimp because I want to enhance colors that we have here. And so to get shrimp from Taiwan and, you know, some really, really dark colored shrimp, I'll bring those in, throw them in the batch, and, you know, let them help darken it up, so, you know, I can bring you even better colors instead of washed out crappy colors. So I got a bunch of those, you know, like 10, 20 of them. Throw those into a tank that I already have 150 shrimp in it. Next thing you know, the turnover is really big, and then I'm able to bring even better genes and better quality shrimp to you, my customers. I also have tons of bristlenose plecos. My stud in here is chilling with his females, and it's like every 2 to 3 weeks he has a whole batch. I have them over there. I probably have, close to 200. I just sold 35 of them to a pet store by me. Pet stores love buying all my products because they're really good products. You know, I like I say, I feed them vegetables and everything that you could think of. to have them super healthy. So I have tons of plecos. I have albinos, bristlenose, regular colors. I have rice fish. They're ready to go. They can go to new homes now. I don't have many of those. I've been selling those, but trying to think of stuff that we have that other than shrimp. Oh, we have guppies. We have mutt guppies. Some incredible Endler guppy mixes. Just super, super, super pretty guppies. Not like what you see in a pet store. I mean, not saying they don't have nice stuff, but you know, some pet stores I go into, they just basic guppies. So, you know, if you want to see them, let me know. I can get videos for you, but as of right now, that's about it. So I have other things in the mix, other fish breeding. Oh, I have snails, rabbit snails. I have yellows, oranges. That's what I call them. There's other names for them. People call them, but if you want those, let me know. I have those for sale. Waiting for my golden black spotteds to have babies, but let me know, and we'll see about making you as happy as everyone else that shops here at Detroit Shrimp and Aquatics. So I'm gonna shut this off for now. Please hit the subscribe, like, and the bell icon. It really helps us out and gets our numbers up. And check us out on what is that? Gosh, I can't. Man, I can't think of the one. But I'm not used to this stuff. I just started it the other day. Anyways, I'll find it out. But yeah, so go on Facebook, check us out on there, and go on YouTube, Detroit Shrimp Aquatic on YouTube, and keep following us. I hope that the stuff that I try to bring to you is informative, and you guys learn some stuff. And you can ask questions anytime you want. Just shoot me questions. I'll give you the best answer I can. And if it helps, you know, let me know. And until then, keep shrimping. And tomorrow's going to be a great day. All right. Peace. See you later.